everyone, it's your homegirl, Jenny Leigh with VRA Realty. Welcome to another episode of Good to Know in Chester County, your inside scoop on local businesses that make Chester County feel like home. Joining me today is Meghan Simmons, the founder of SensoryFit, a play space for all kids of all abilities to celebrate. Meghan, thank you so much for coming on today. I am very excited for people to learn everything about your business. In your own words, could you explain to everybody listening what your business is all about?
Yes, of course. So thank you for having me. So SensoryFit is a community space for children, specifically those with sensory needs. Okay. Through SensoryFit, kids have access to play in a safe and inclusive environment. Backed by occupational therapy practitioners, all our programs, events are therapeutic in mindset so that our families have the tools they need to learn, grow, and socialize in a meaningful way.
So I have a little bit of an education background. When I learned about you and your business, I was just so happy to hear about it. I feel like there could be more around, but I don't think so. So I'm really curious, what gave you the idea to get this started in our area?
Yeah, so I've been practicing as an occupational therapy practitioner for the last 11 years. And through that time, I was working with kids all the way up to adults in various settings. And there was this always one gap that I just couldn't refer. Yeah. And it was somewhere fun for my families that could go that was adapted for them versus them having to adapt to go to these places. Yeah. And so, COVID hit. I was burnt out in my current setting and I just needed more. I couldn't get further up in my career as I wanted to go. And so I just kind of had to take things in my own hand. And I really knew that this was something that was needed, even though, it's a very niche and new business type, especially within the community. A lot don't really understand what we do and what we provide.
Well, that's why I have you here today, because I think it's fabulous. And I'm 100% positive that every family involved with you and bring their children there, they couldn't agree more. You don't know if you're not in that environment, I guess. So how long have you been running your business?
So SensoryFit opened April of 2023. Okay. So we're just 2 years in, and we're making a big impact so far.
That's what I heard. I hear it's going very well. There's a lot of appreciative parents, happy children. Why don't you give me an example of some of the specific things that you do in your space?
Yeah. So, within the 2 years, we originally started as just open play. So kids would come in. We have a whole sensory gym, which is an indoor play. And, everybody is all welcome and they could come in and play. We do things in about 2-hour increments and you just sign up and come in. We also host birthday parties and special events during the weekends, pizza parties, character visits, all that kind of stuff.
Oh, that's cute.
And since that, we have, our mission has almost outgrown the original just indoor play. Yeah. And now we offer gross motor classes. We do music therapy. We do life skill programs. And, it's just the sky's the limit right now and it's all the community that's asking for these type of things.
Yeah. So I heard something when you were describing it, you said all kids, right? So I think that's a really good point to bring up. Like every kid, every ability, I could think of an example maybe where there's a family where they have one child with, some needs that are a little bit more and, other children that aren't. So what a fun space for all of them to gather and it just be fun and relaxing versus, going somewhere else that's not quite as, we'll say, suitable, where it's going to be a challenge, right?
Right. Yeah. And I use this example because it seems to resonate and people understand a little better. Urban Air trampoline park, right? Yeah. Most families with kids understand what urban air is. Well, if you have 3 kids, 1 child with sensory needs, and they can't go to urban air, it's just not a good fit for them. You either have to divide and conquer your family or one's getting left behind and you can't enjoy a fun outing as a family. Yeah. And that was one of my things with SensoryFit was creating that space where your whole family can come and play as normal.
And enjoy it all together.
And enjoy it, exactly. And we do provide, a lot of businesses can say you're inclusive, right? They can slap that label in all marketing materials. But to be truly inclusive, you really need to understand what that means.
Yeah.
And at SensoryFit, doesn't matter who you are, you're included and we can make it happen.
I love that. Yeah. Would you say all ages, like kids, like what's the youngest up to, is it 18? Like where do you?
Yeah. So originally we were ages 1 to 8 and that's just based off of our equipment and, weight limits and all that.
Yeah.
But then we had 6-month-olds, little siblings
goodness.
that would come in and they just loved it and they could watch, 90% of our flooring is all padded. So when we have crawlers come in, they just want to roam or those little ones that have just started walking and are waddling, they could care less about playing, but they just want to wander. So we have a safe matted environment for them to really access the whole space. And then since growing, we have trialed up to ages 18 as well in various type of programs. And then we also started a lunch bunch kind of social hour for ages 18 and up. So we do adults with sensory needs as well. Goodness. They come in, have full access to our space. We do crafts or games and just, less restrictive, very relaxed environment just to kind of socialize and have fun.
Yeah. You said
a space to go.
Yeah. You mentioned the sky's the limit earlier. And I think you're achieving that. You're continuing to build. I just assumed it was up to 18. So the fact that you're going even beyond that is incredible. My
biggest, and I've said this from the beginning, not out loud a lot, but SensoryFit, I don't want anyone to age out of it.
Yeah.
Right? So there's transitions all throughout your life. And so those transitions, hopefully SensoryFit will be able to carry that, to be there with you along the way.
I know I said this earlier, but I can only imagine how many families are just so appreciative of you coming up with this and really going for it. Is there any similar businesses around, or like, I mean, I feel like I've lived here my whole life, so I'm like in this Chester County box, but I'm just curious. I mean,
so there's, I guess the closest would be We Rock the Spectrum.
Okay.
That's a franchise. They're all over. I think the closest ones, there's Philly, New Jersey area. Yeah. Some, since that is a franchise, they kind of go towards the younger age, but I know some of them have kind of branched out into some of the teen environments. But I want SensoryFit is going to be like a social hub. We'll be the social enterprise where we do everything we can to bring the fun, the recreation side that's really adapted.
Well, and for those, it's your own business. I mean, you can just keep building like you're doing. So, what made you decide to start your business here in Chester County?
So, born and raised in Downingtown. Wanted to keep it local. Currently reside in Coatesville. Yep. I love the community feel. My goal is to try and bring SensoryFit to Downingtown, back to my hometown, just part of it. My favorite event and that to be a part of now with SensoryFit is Downingtown's Fall Fest.
Oh, yeah.
So you'll see us there with the vendor booth, hanging out. We bring characters. Awesome. My daughter has her own little side gig of characters. So
I love it.
She was Bluey last year. I'm sure one of them will show up again. So, but yeah, I just love the community feel, and I know, it'll be supported.
It is. And when we got connected, when we had our first call, I was cracking up. I'm like, yeah, we do know each other. We went to the same elementary school. I know your brother. Like, it is a great area. Yeah. I think that the community support is huge around here. So, it sounds like you're thriving in just year 2. Yeah. And I can only see it growing. I think that this is a great place for that, getting all the support you need. Yeah. And then you, of course, just going hard and coming up with new things. I'm pretty impressed with how much you've accomplished in just 2 years. Before we got started, you had mentioned something that I would love to dive into. You talked about high school students. Mm-hmm. So do you want to share about that?
Yeah. Okay. So Downingtown School District, we've kind of partnered up, and they have their transition students, usually like seniors. They'll come to SensoryFit, and as part of their work experience, they have their job coaches. And so they come to SensoryFit. Right now it's just once a week, and they clean SensoryFit. So they get real life job training. And I love that SensoryFit is now able to provide that. And that's always been a goal.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
And it sounds like you're connected with a lot of larger companies and school districts. So let's hear about that.
Yeah. So a lot of it has helped because of my background. You know, with occupational therapy, I've worked all over.
Sure.
And so I've kind of made those connections. And then as soon as I started kind of leaking a little bit before SensoryFit opened, everyone's like, oh my gosh. And so those connections just kind of grew, and beyond what I even had imagined. I have Ivy Rehab for Kids. They send their families to SensoryFit. You know, we're a great complementary to your child's therapy.
Got it.
So think SensoryFit is almost like a souped up therapy gym.
Yeah.
But it's open for the families to come to. So you're not just practicing those skills in your once or twice a week therapy. You can come to SensoryFit and have full access to learning. And then you also get me, or, you know, my team behind me who has all the experience to help answer questions.
I feel like there's a little bit of mindset to it too. I'm really thinking more about the parents, and probably everybody in the family, like just having that environment to just go somewhere and it's going to be comfortable for everyone, and you can really, because where else do you have home? Right. So to be able to get out of the house all together as a family, and it's just like, let's go, let's have fun.
Right.
And without, you know.
Yeah. One of my biggest things too was, you know, kids are kids. They're going to play. They're going to do what they want. Right.
Yeah.
But it's more for the parents or even the siblings, or, you know, to have a space where they can feel welcome. I want them to walk through my doors and just know immediately I'm here. I can be safe.
Yep.
You know, my child can be safe and who they are.
Yeah. Well, exactly who they are. Because I feel like, and it's nobody's fault. I think that raising the awareness has done pretty well over the last few years. But just if you're going out to a restaurant, like, it's nobody's fault, but, you know, probably 90% of the surroundings just aren't aware or how to respond or how to react. So it is what it is, but you're actually creating an environment that they don't even have to worry about that, you know? So that's awesome. Do you have any fun events coming up, or, you know, anything that you would want to share with anybody listening?
Yeah. So since SensoryFit is growing, we're currently located in the Exton Mall, and with that upcoming change, we're needing to relocate. And so we've partnered up with Billy's Legacy Foundation. I'm very thankful for them. They're going to help support us in trying to find a new space and really support all the inclusive programs that we are just on the brink of creating. So they have their 17th annual golf outing, which is at the Downingtown Country Club on August 8th. Okay. All proceeds made from now through that event will go directly towards our relocation and programming and outfit, or really whatever we need to get us kind of our new home.
That's awesome. And it sounds like you have more up your sleeve.
There's a lot.
More to come? Okay. Sorry, go ahead.
No, that's okay. Go ahead.
So you have like a connection with the Eagles too, am I correct?
Yeah. So besides Ivy Rehab for Kids, we have a lot of kind of partnerships with various behavior clinics. Okay. We also have CHOP that rents our space a lot. They run their Spark program, which is their autism research. Yeah. So they'll rent SensoryFit, make it open to the public, or free to the community. Okay. And if you want to participate in the autism research, you get the genetic testing, all the tests done right at our space. So they've come multiple times, and, you know, through CHOP and our relationship, we were invited by the Eagles to go to their Huddle Up for autism in end of March. Yeah, because they're big
supporters of that.
So we were able to kind of pack up what we could of SensoryFit, and we've recreated the Coach's Wives Lounge. and I kind of renamed it SensoryFit Sideline Playroom. So we got to showcase what we could in that space and who we are. And that event was sold out. I think that over 5,000 participants. It was crazy. I didn't know how to play. That was my first large event like that. I had no idea.
No big deal. 5,000
Yeah, I was like, I don't even know what to bring, marketing, but it was such an amazing experience. And, we were asked to come back and do it again next year. So,
wow. Well, I'm pretty sure I heard that one of the players moved to our county, maybe a really, really awesome player. And I also heard he likes to play golf. Mm-hmm. So how cool would that be if he showed up?
There may be some fun news if we can, get that going. But there may be some surprise visitors at the golf outing. So
that's really cool.
We're looking for sponsors, donations.
Yeah, I was just going to ask.
Golfers. Yep. We will have a dinner as well. Okay. And so you can just come for dinner. Kids are invited as always. We'll have raffles, silent auction. It'll be fun. I have to do a speech. So if you want to see me talk, then you can come to dinner and I'll be there. But
well, when I learned about this, I text you and I'm like, Megan, I want to come. I cannot golf. I just can't. And so you relieved me very quickly. And you're like, you can just come for dinner or all the other things. So I was like, okay.
Yeah.
That's great.
Just come for dinner if you just want to support. Just come for raffles. I mean, you can just show up for all of that as well. So I'm very excited for this. It's my first ever golf outing because I don't golf. I have no idea. But
I'm not alone.
It's Billy's Foundation. It's their 17th golf outing. Yeah. So they're the pros at it, and I'm just following along and just thankful for their support.
Yeah, it sounds like, having the connection with that, you already know it's just going to go really smoothly. But what I'm picking up on is all these, I guess I'll say, affiliations you have with these larger companies, larger foundations. Being in business for only 2 years, you're highly respected. I mean, if you have these large companies that are willing to connect with you and do something, you're doing something right. I just feel like you're thinking everything through.
Right. Yeah. And honestly, things happen for a reason. And sometimes, as a business owner, you're head down. Sometimes it's hard to come above water and see what you've done.
Yeah.
And usually, it's hard for me to see because I'm just go, go, go. What do we need to do? But if I have to write it down or, tell you about my story, it's like, wow, how did this even happen?
Yeah.
But in the back of my mind, this is SensoryFit or a business like it is needed.
Yeah.
It's so needed within the community. So
clearly, I mean, it's going really well. How can people find you?
You can find me anywhere online, social media. We're Facebook, Instagram at SensoryFit. Okay. I have TikTok. We're not active. It'll just push it right through Instagram. And then, online, our website, sensoryfitplay.com.
Okay. Well, if there's anything else you want to share, please let me know. I've already learned a lot, which I kind of had a feeling I would. I'm excited to see what else comes in the future.
Thank you. Yes.
But is there anything else you feel like you want to share? Maybe something that people might not know that would be really good to share. I mean, you covered a lot of the bases, but I just figured
our biggest question that we get is, can we still come if we don't have a diagnosis? Yes. Yeah. 1,000%. We need you to come.
Yeah.
We need you to come, one, to support the business, but also to really provide that inclusive experience for everybody. Kids learn off of each other and, the awareness and advocacy of this community needs to go further.
That's awesome.
So yes, everybody's welcome at SensoryFit.
That's so great. Well, I hope that a lot of people hear this because I think the event's going to be a blast. And I'm sure you're going to get a great new space. But thank you. I think what you're doing is huge. And like I said earlier, I'm sure there's probably so many families around here that are so appreciative of everything that you're doing.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
Sunshine, I'll be your love, I'll be your sunshine.